Now, Brent Venables talked about injury updates. Y'all know we got to jump into that next up here on Locked On.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Now, Brent Venables had some updates for all of us, and I was pretty excited to hear this. So, scrolling through social media on Brent Venables' coach's show, he talked about some of the players. One, in practice today, he said that Branson Hickman looked really good, and there is a chance he can play this coming weekend. Now, so if that's the case, he looked good in practice and he's moving around. It doesn't sound like his injury was just severe. So in that case, we're going to say hopefully it's a grade 1 ankle sprain and he could potentially go. They may play him, they may not, but that's fine. Jake Taylor, the other right tackle, he did not play last game, and it sounds like he should be good to go this week. Venables put that out there. Shout out to Parker Thune and George Stoya. Parker Thune over at OU Insider, as well as George Stoya over at Sooner Scoop. They both tweeted it out that the expectation is Jake Taylor will play this coming week, and Nick Anderson will be prepared to play as well. And so let's talk about that wide receiver room, because of course, Brent Venables mentioned that Jalil Farouk broke his foot against Temple, the same foot that was bothering him throughout fall camp. So now that it's broken, he will be out for 6 to 8 weeks. And so with it being a foot, things could be a little finicky. There's a chance he could come back this season, which means if it is the full 8 weeks, he's out until November, playing against Missouri area. Do we want to play him? We may leverage him against Maine, but for the most part, Jalil Farouk is done for the year, and I'm okay with that. Let that man heal. He could possibly redshirt, come back next season, give you one more veteran in wide receiver room. And that's the one thing I can say. Shout out to Emmett Jones. He's been doing a really good job in the recruiting side on wide receiver. He already has 5 receivers committed for this next class, which means we've got a stable of wide receivers to come in and help with all of the, health that we have in wide receiver room, right? Nick Anderson, it sounds like he's ready to go. So he can play either this week or he can play Tulane. I'm sensing that he'll probably get some snaps here against Houston. That way, just, get him into some game shape. But we'll be leaning heavily in on Brendan Thompson as well as J.J. Hester. I know some of the people that likes to, pick at me. I'm still a believer of J.J. Hester, 918 guy. But what we need to get out of him is just to make sure he catch those passes that's thrown. He dropped 2 that were right there, perfectly thrown to him. And I think for him, it was more rust, right? He hasn't played in like 2 years, like fully. Like he played a couple years ago when he first got here and got hurt and hasn't seen the field since, right? So if he's gone 18, 19 months without really playing in a game, you get a little nervous or whatnot. And I'm hoping that that's all it was. Hopefully he went through the same drills that Jaden Gibson went to as far as catches goes to get his hands stronger and make sure he doesn't drop too much. But I'm here to say I do believe that we will be just fine there. So if you get Nick Anderson back to play a little bit, Andrew Anthony looked good. I'm sensing he's going to be playing, again, he'll probably play a much bigger role in this game, right? You kind of want to ramp him up slowly. There's no reason for you to bring him in too early just because let's keep it real. If you have him out there too early and, something gets aggravated, then you kind of got a problem. Even as deep of a room as you have at wide receiver, you still want to go out there and make sure you have the most healthy guys. But at the same time, I'm here for getting a little bit more Andrew Anthony, getting some Nick Anderson out there, let J.J. Hester work his way through it, get Brendan Thompson going. And the good thing is it's obvious that Jackson Arnold has good rapport with Bauer Sharp as well as with Deion Burks. Guys, we have a tight end room that looks good. Jake Roberts was looking solid out there, especially blocking. Now they got to just throw him some passes. And you still got the young guys with Cade McIntyre as well as Caden Helms, who look like they're both healthy. We've got some very positive news there. And so I think that the offensive line-wise, let's wrap up with that. So you bring back Jake Taylor, you toss him at the right tackle. Hopefully you go at Fabichi Webu. Now's got him a right tackle with him that he can work with or whatnot. You keep Spencer Brown as depth, and he comes in as a sub, gets his confidence back up to where he's playing better, right? But you don't need to use him every down. But Jake Taylor leads the way. Fabichi Wewu's right there with them. Center-wise, I'm hoping you put out there. Gary Hatchett basically took responsibility and said that it starts with him, needs to get better. I appreciate that. You can have Hatchett run, or you can roll with Joshua Bates. Move Hatchett back to guard, or bring in Heath Luzeta, who I feel like think he's ready, right? Bring him in, and then of course at left tackle, Michael as Jacob Sexton with Michael Tarkin being right behind him. Or you can shift Tarkin over possibly to the right. I think he's played right in his career. You got a couple of options there as far as backups. But the good thing is you've got multiple backups. You got multiple pieces that can play. I like Sexton at left tackle. I think he's always played really good there when he was healthy. That Florida State game, I was hoping that we was going to be able to see him show out as a young guy, but he unfortunately got hurt. But I think he's probably ready to go ahead and make that happen. But I want to see some of the young guys there too. But the expectation is when we break down the Houston game and all the numbers and everything y'all need to know about them, I'm going to be honest, they're not very good, right? I think when I looked at the efficiencies on ESPN after week 1 against UNLV, they're like 130th in efficiency overall as a team. And I know their quarterback, Donovan Smith, is dealing with some arm stuff. There's a chance that we should be able to go out there and really, really cook in that game. So we'll see what that looks like. If anything, though, we know Bill Beatonbow is going to figure it out, and Bill Beatonbow we trust. We know that he's going to find a way to get this offensive line going the way that we need to go. And I'm just going to ride on that. I'm going to ride on faith, not on sight, because if you want me to be honest, if I was to go on anything else, I'd probably lose my mind. But I know you all are worried about that. There's concerns in your hearts. There's concerns in your voices and in all your typing. I feel it. But the good thing is that Hickman looks like he should be good to go. They most likely will not play him. I can sense that we'll push him over into the Tulane game, give him an extra week to get healthy because I don't think we really need him. And then you can start playing the young guys. Get out there with some Eugene Brooks. Get some BJ Brooks in there. Get a little bit of Josh Isosa. Give me some EPL. Right? Get them going while you wait for the other guys to get healthy, because I know that we need as many healthy bodies out there at offensive line as possible. And if these guys go out there and play well, I think it would be good. But I do want to see, like you all, I want to see EPL play more left guard, because that kid is going to be a problem for opposing teams. So let us know what y'all think in the comments. And so thank you all for joining us here on Locked On Sooners and making us your first listen every day. Now go check out Locked On College Football Podcast. From NIL deals to never-ending conference realignment rumors, Spencer McLaughlin gets you ready for an exciting season on the gridiron. You can find the link on Locked On College Football in the description below, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank y'all for pulling out. For my guy, John Williams, you can follow him at John 9 Williams, myself, Jay Smith. We appreciate you and all the everydayers. Stick around for the next video and check us out tomorrow. We've got some stuff we're going to dive into preparation for Houston. We may start talking about any type of other nuggets that came down from Venables and more press conferences. So we'll keep you all up to date on your Sooners. So for John, I'm Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up, and we'll talk soon. Boomer Sooner.